We can see that this black stone is placed at its position on this board. This place is called the intersection of the third line and the third line, and also the intersection of the territory lines. Its advantage is that it's easy to secure eye shape, while its disadvantage is that its ability to develop towards the sides and the center is relatively weak. The position where white plays is the star point, which is the intersection of the fourth line and the fourth line, and also the intersection of the partitional lines. Its advantage is that it has a relatively strong ability to develop towards the sides and the center, while its disadvantage is that it's relatively weak in forming territory. Its nature is exactly the opposite of the 3-3 point. When black plays in this way, we can call it invading at the 3-3 point. After such operations, we find that the owner of the corner becomes black, and what white obtains is called outer partition. While black gains territory, white gains outer partitional. White's outer partitional has great possibility of developing towards position A and the center, and is fully capable of making up for the loss of territory taken by black. Let's look at this board again. When white plays here, its basic way to hinder black's development and obtain its own outer partitional. Let's take a look. When it's played like this, we find that black has obtained territory, but white has also fully obtained outer partitional. The 3-3 point has an advantage in obtaining territory, but it has flaws in developing towards the sides and the center. Then, which is more important, territory or outer partition? Junior players often attach more importance to territory. In fact, outer partitional is equally important as territory. Let's look at this place again. When black plays here, it's a common means for black to let white obtain territory while obtaining out partitional for itself. Let's continue playing. When it's played like this, white first obtains territory, but with outer partitional as its backing, black makes a move on the side and is also in a good position. If white obtains territory and the outer partitional obtained by black is of little value, then black is in an unfavorable situation. So we should use black's such way of playing cautiously. When white makes an attachment here, it's a common way for white to occupy territory. We keep playing until it forms a joseki. We find that the white obtains territory as a senti move, and black has an outer partitional. When black makes an extension on the side, black's outer partitional has enough ability to compete with white territory. As a result, white's territory and black's outer partitional forms an even situation. Therefore, in the opening stage, territory and outer partitional are equally important. When black plays here, the nice move to the block is a common means used when obtaining outer partitional. We continue playing and find the black obtains outer partitional as it wishes and has the possibility of developing towards the side and the center. However, while obtaining outer partitional, it also enables white to obtain territory. In the future, the degree of utilization of black's outer partitional will determine whether black is in an advantageous or disadvantageous position. When black invades at the 3-3 point, it can easily obtain territory. We continue playing until it's played like this. We find that although black has obtained this small territory, white has a very thick outer partition. And because white has stones outside here, White has built a large territory framework outside and has a great possibility of developing towards the center. In the early stage of the opening, we shouldn't bring about a disadvantage due to obtaining territory. We must have the ability to coordinate outer partition and territory. Facing such a black stone, when White chooses to make an attachment, it's a common way to obtain territory. When it's played like this, White obtains territory as it wishes. Black's outer partition has no value because of the influence of these white stones. So we should always keep in mind that when obtaining outer partitioner, we shouldn't obtain outer partitioner with no possibility of development. That will lead to failure. So when facing White such attachment move, Black can choose to change direction like this. We should turn to obtain the outer partition on the upper side instead. How to obtain and utilize outer partition flexibility is very important. A successful opening should coordinate the relation between outer partition and territory well. We should not only obtain territory, but also obtain outer partition. Let's look at this place again. When White plays here and Black chooses to attach and press, although it's a common means to consolidate itself, when we continue playing until it's played like this, we can find that although Black has a very thick outer partition because the previously played black stone is too close to its outer partition. Black's efficiency is a bit slow. Compared with White, the stones on the white side keeps an appropriate distance from the other white stones, and White is satisfied if the black stone could be placed at position A or position B. To some extent, it could increase the influence of the outer partitioner.